Tonight's big stories. Investigations are underway into the death of a puppy in Quezon City. The dog died after it was thrown off a footbridge by a mall security guard.
On the heels of the tourism campaign fiasco, PAGCOR's new logo also goes viral for all the wrong reasons. Which agency was behind it this time?
And on the 7th anniversary of the UN Arbitral Award, the United States called on China to cease its routine harassment of vessels in the disputed waters. But Beijing maintains it does not accept the ruling.
Welcome to the show. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Maricel Halili.
And I'm Sean Yao. We start off tonight with our big story, and boy, is it heartbreaking. That of a poor puppy thrown off a footbridge by a mall security guard.
The puppy was rescued and brought to the vet, but was pronounced dead on arrival.
So the question is, what possible charges will the guard face for this? Well, let's get the details first from Kyla Macantan. Kyla.
This puppy was no longer moving when it was picked up by this man on the street in front of a popular mall in Quezon City. The poor dog was allegedly thrown off a footbridge. The suspect, a security guard of the mall. According to online posts, the guard was driving away a group of children who owned the puppy named Brownie. But when they refused to leave, the guard snatched the pup and threw it off the footbridge. Some people immediately confronted the guard.
May isa pong lalaki doon na nag-confront doon sa guard po na sabi nga, bakit mo ginawa yan? Mali ang ginagawa mo. Ang sabi po yung guard is wala daw po siyang pake.
A concerned citizen who witnessed this immediately picked up Brownie. He said the pup was still breathing at the time but is having difficulty and could not move.
Doon po sa baba may mga galos na din sa tenga, may konting dugo. Yung mga paa at saka may hindi na talaga gumagalaw.
When the dog was brought to a veterinarian, it was declared dead on arrival. The vet said the dog was already brain dead. A veterinarian explains that like a baby, a pup's bones are still not fully formed.
Most of the function ng brain, wala na. Essentially, yung aso humihinga, posibleng tumitibok yung puso, pero yung brain activity niya ay wala na.
Netizens are angered and are calling for justice for Brownie. The Quezon City LGU is also conducting a full investigation into the incident. SM North EDSA has also released a statement apologizing for the incident. They say the guard has been dismissed and will no longer be allowed to service any SM mall in the country. They also called an attention of the security agency to conduct an investigation into the matter. For its part, the guard security agency says it is also investigating the incident and has expressed deep regret over it. Animal rights groups are also calling for justice for Brownie. The Animal Kingdom Foundation said that the guard could face charges for cruelty under Republic Act 8485 or the Animal Welfare Law, which carries a maximum penalty of 2 years imprisonment and fine up to 100,000 pesos. The Philippine Animal Welfare Society, or PAWS, says it's determined to file charges against the security guard.
Kakasuhan namin yung security guard. This sort of abuse is something that we would like to condemn in the strongest possible way.
Mobile journalist Kyla Macantan, We Are One News.
Well, I know some people are going to question why this is our top news, but the thing is that we thought it was a good opportunity to remind people that there's actually a law against this. So it's the Animal Welfare Act of 1998, which states it shall be unlawful for any person to torture any animal, to neglect to provide adequate care or sustenance or shelter, or maltreat any animal. That's
More
why
than
it's important.
more than forgetting that this law exists, I believe a lot of people know that it actually exists and it's just not being enforced. And it just angers me how this lack of enforcement has emboldened some people to be able to continue doing things like this, to eat dogs or to neglect their pets and to leave them and, throwing animals and torturing them.
And this is a good example of what you're saying. The security guard who actually shows lack of empathy on the dog after siya kinonfront ng witnesses. Ang sinabi niya lang, wala akong pakialam.
Right?
That is
It's
true.
so disturbing. More than it's angering, it's really disturbing that, a security guard who's supposed to keep you safe and help you out has actually done this. So what does that say about society?
Our producers actually dug up this nice quote from Mahatma Gandhi that goes, "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Again, from the great Mahatma Gandhi. And again, there is a law, people, against animal cruelty.
Yes, but to be fair, we also have security guards who are actually animal lovers. One
like here in
example
the
is
office.
our guards here.
Yeah.
Di ba? At Media Center, meron pa tayong
There's a cat.
Si Guardfield.
Guardfield.
Yes, yeah. He's actually, the cat is so old and so overweight and so well fed.
There's for anyone who wants to come visit us, you can, the first living thing you'll see is our resident cat Guardfield.
That is
Ayan,
Guardfield.
we even have
That
our
is Guardfield.
We have
Medyo
enough-
pumayat siya niya nung COVID. There's also
so
actually, there's another Guardfield in the back. So it's similar, that's Gian taking care of Garfield. But there is a similar Guardfield in the back gate,
Yes.
in the Sheridan gate, and it's gray and white. So it's the gray version of this
Mase
one.
is right. Inaalagaan siya ng mga secute here at least. So it's not, we're not generalizing here. But anyways, to help us make sense of this incident, we also have a guest on the show tonight. We have General Lumar Abugan. He's the chief of the Supervisory Office for Security and Investigation Agencies. General Lumar, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Ms. Maricel, Ms. Sean, and Ms. Regina. And of course, good evening to your televiewers.
Thank you for that. We wanted to have you on the show as well because we thought it would be good to hear your side on the issue, and because this is what this boils down to is whether or not we need more training for the security officers, bearing in mind, of course, security officers, they're held to a higher standard because they have licenses to carry firearms, right? They have the authority to arrest people, for instance, not arrest people, but to discipline people, for instance. So again, where are we in terms of the training? Do we need to, do another round of training for all these security officers?
Yeah, first I would like to inform our viewers that the Supervisory Office for Security and Investigation Agencies, being the regulatory office for the security service industry, has already started an investigation on this matter. No, we are really saddened by the incident, and in the strongest terms, we condemn the act of one of our private security professionals. Actually, becoming a security guard is a somewhat stringent process. No, we have standard requirements and qualification to become security guards, and of course, training is required. They have to pass neuropsychiatric examinations. They should be declared fit for service. And they should have adequate training, not to mention the fact that they should possess a license to exercise security profession.
Right, General Abugan, supposed to be that this specific guard in question, pumasa naman daw siya sa psychological test.
Yes.
Right, so...
Because before they are issued with license to exercise security profession, they have to pass these requirements, and one of the requirements is they have to pass the neuropsychiatric exams, and this is conducted by certified professionals, no, and validated by the PNP Health Service, no less.
Right. Are they also trained, General Abugan, with regard to the laws? Because meron naman tayong Anti-Animal Cruelty or Animal Welfare Act since 1998. Medyo matagal na po yun. Are they aware that what basic laws are there? Are they trained or are they required to be knowledgeable about the law?
Yeah, we have a standard training program for licensing of private security professionals. They have their pre-licensing training program. But of course, sadly, this might be limited in regards to special laws. But On hindsight, I think we really have to revisit the training for security guards, and I think we have to include modules on special laws, including of course the Animal Welfare Act or Republic Act 8485.
But sir, after passing the psychological examination, after undergoing the screen test, after several years of practicing as security guard, is there, let's say, a refresher course or a reorientation for these guards?
Yes,
Because I wonder what
they
will
have to
happen if they
undergo,
experience something crucial or important in their lives. And how do we know if they're
Yes, they have
suffering?
to undergo refresher courses. They have to undergo specialized courses during the duration of their service as a private security professional.
And how often is that?
Yeah, previously before the passage of Republic Act 11917, the validity of a license is 3 years. So sa gitna, dapat mag-undergo sila ng refresher training. With the passage of RA 11917, ginawang 5 years yung validity ng license to exercise security profession. So they should undergo refresher courses ideally after 2 years, no? But of course, this will not prevent their respective agencies from conducting other trainings that
Right,
they see
right.
fit for their
Yeah.
security
Oo
personnel.
nga, pero sana hindi na maulit, no? We're gonna have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us, General Lumar Abugan, Chief of the Supervisory Office for Security and Investigation Agencies. Another heartbreaker. Over 500,000 Maynilad customers are currently experiencing water interruptions, which started earlier this evening. Kayo girls, have you been affected by the water interruptions in your areas?
So far,
So
no.
far-
Hopefully,
Actually, nag-7 p.m. lang nagsimula yung
So you wouldn't know
interruption.
until we get home.
Yeah, pero
You won't
actually hindi
know.
kasi Manila Water concessionaire ang concessionaire namin.
Okay.
so far hindi ko pa nakikita yung city ko sa mga list ng mawawala ng water. Hopefully hindi mapasa.
Crossing your fingers. But, we do have to empathize with the almost 600,000 Maynilad households which will be affected with 9 to 11 hours of nighttime service interruptions that again started at 7 p.m. tonight. These customers are from select barangays in Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, Valenzuela, Quezon City, and Manila. Maynilad says this is the result of lower water allocation due to Angat Dam's declining water level. The water concessionaire says they still can't tell when the interruptions or how long the interruptions will last, but they say that they're currently finding ways to shorten the time period of these. One of these options is the reactivation of deep wells and the establishment of modular treatment plants. Maynilad says it's also continuing pipe repairs.
Pina-facilitate natin yan dahil the more we are able to plug leaks and replace old pipes, mas marami din po tayong marirecover na water for distribution sa ating customers.
How did affected residents prepare for these water interruptions? Let's get a story from JC Cosico. JC.
Mase, earlier today, many establishments and residents have started storing water. Many rushed to water refilling stations, and even some laundry shops have readied drums of water for their operations. Now, the Navotas City Hospital even filled up their 3 water tanks, which they say could last up to 4 days. However, some of the residents weren't aware of these interruptions happening tonight, and now they fear losing water as they weren't able to prepare ahead of time. Back to you.
Thanks, JC.
So girls, it looks like that rain dance by the Dumagat tribe actually worked because there is now a newly formed low pressure area, and along with the Habagat, these are causing rain showers in some parts of Luzon. Now, this LPA was last spotted in the waters off of Catanduanes. It is bringing cloudy skies and scattered rain showers to Cagayan Valley, while its trough continues to affect the rest of Luzon. This LPA could become a tropical storm by this weekend, with a slight chance, though, of making landfall. Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and the Bicol region are currently experiencing monsoon rains. Same goes for parts of Visayas and Mindanao.
Up next, it's the talk of the town. PAGCOR's new logo. The logo drew flack online, with many criticizing its quality and some angered by its 3 million peso price tag. The details when we return. Keep it here on One News.
Welcome back. You're still watching the big story here on One News. Well, rebranding seems to be in the air nowadays. This time, it's PAGCOR that's doing a little bit of reinventing by unveiling its new logo. But the agency didn't quite get the warm reception it was hoping for. The gaming regulator opted to switch to a blue and red flame logo for its 40th anniversary. PAGCOR says this symbolizes a beacon that, quote, ignites change and drives progress, unquote. Both professional and armchair branding experts were quick to say, though, that the logo was poorly designed. The new logo comes with a 3 million peso price tag. The transaction does seem to have the paperwork to back it up, though. A notice of award dated last June 27 showed that a certain Print Plus Graphic Services won the bid. This led many to ask why the government would grant the project to a relatively unknown agency. A quick search on PhilJeps, which is the procurement site, collating information on the procurement showed that the Print Plus Graphic Services falls under Red membership. This means that the business entity is a new member. Netizens also noted red flags, with Print Plus having no known social media accounts or website. Searching for the ad agency on Facebook will only lead you to a sketchy page that may have just been created recently. Even the supposed proprietor of Print Plus, Francisco Doplon, did not escape public scrutiny. Some were able to dig up his portfolio, which includes the logo for the quadricentennial anniversary of the University of Santo Tomas.
Ay,
Type mo ba yung
3 million
logo?
pesos for the logo.
Type mo ba yung logo? Bakit ka
I mean, I
tumatawa?
don't know what to say because I don't see anything wrong with the old logo. So
I
why
know,
do they
I-
have to change it?
I know, I don't, even the colors now, it does not remind me of Pagcor. Because if you tell me Pagcor, Maricela told me earlier, actually hands siya in the sun. Never ko na notice na hands yun, pero green and yellow Pagcor, not red and blue.
It reminds me of an oil company.
Gasol,
That's
sabihin
what
mo na.
a lot of people are saying online. Exactly.
Oo, di ba? Ang layo talaga eh. Parang there's no similarity whatsoever.
Pero syempre, girls, ang mga Pinoy may kanya-kanyang entry dyan.
Yan ang
sa
favorite
mga
part ko.
memes.
Yeah.
So, Street Fighter fans probably had some laughs seeing the Packer logo being used as Hadouken. Some also compared it to the logo of a
Ayun
popular gas station. Ayan na. One offers gasul while the other regulates sugal. Visual artist and animator Kevin Raimundo also joined in on the fun, creating several characters from the Packer logo. Ito pang hindi nagpahuli, ride-hailing service Angkas also hopped in on the logo rebrand train. Others, meanwhile, took the redesign challenge more seriously, coming up with their own take on the Packer logo.
Ang ganda niyan. Type
Wait,
mo
wait,
yun.
I have to make a slight correction there. Angkas actually took down that logo. I don't know if they got in trouble.
Feeling ko
or
yung
feeling
caption
nila-
siguro.
Or baka yung caption was...
Feeling ko yung
They felt
caption.
went a little too far, but actually as of tonight, they took down that logo from their Facebook page. So even after it went viral na.
Actually, natuwa ako dun sa
Pero
ginawa
nakakatawa
niyang
naman talaga.
iba-ibang
Nakakatawa naman
animals.
siya.
Kasi parang nakikita ko parang,
Manok.
I see a
Bird.
ram. Like a goat. A
Oh,
billy
yeah.
goat.
Baka that's it. It's open to interpretation. Baka that's it.
Maybe, but
I
the
didn't know.
question is it worth 3.035 million?
I do not have the answer
And we
to
have
that.
14 trillion what, net?
Yeah.
I do not have the answer to that, so we will pause for a quick break. But up next, the Philippines' arbitral victory over China's maritime claims is marking its 7th year. That and more when the big story returns. You're still watching the big story here in One News. The United States has called on China to cease its routine harassment of vessels of other countries with claims in the South China Sea. In a statement, the U.S. State Department said it continues to urge Beijing to comport its maritime claims with international law as reflected in the 1982 Law of the Sea Convention, as well as cease its routine harassment of claimant state vessels lawfully operating in their respective exclusive economic zones. China, however, maintained it does not accept any claims or actions based on the ruling. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said, quote, "The tribunal violated the principle of state consent and went beyond its authority to hear the case and perverted law." And indeed, on this day, there has been a flurry of voices indirectly calling on Beijing to recognize the arbitral award. Pamela Vasquez reports.
Ambassadors of the United States, Australia, European Union, Japan, UK, India, France, and Germany came out in force to mark the 7th anniversary of the UN arbitral ruling at an event hosted by the Stratbase Institute. In their individual keynotes, the envoys rallied behind the Philippines and called for rules-based order in disputed waters.
Together with like-minded partners like the Philippines and many other governments represented in this room, we are promoting respect for international law and the rules-based order, freedom of navigation and overflight, unimpeded commerce, and the need for peaceful settlement of disputes.
That is why formally elevating our relationship to a strategic partnership later this year is a top priority for both our countries, certainly for the Australian government. That is why Australia is investing 3.6 billion pesos in regional maritime programs.
Both the United States and Australia have visibly stepped up efforts in the region. Washington is providing maritime capacity building programs and conducting more joint drills with local troops, which experts say is meant to improve the Philippines' capability to counter China's gray zone tactics.
It's not just moral support, we need to be giving material support. We need to be finding ways to support the Philippines in ways that they can build up their capacity so that they can begin to push back more effectively.
Gray zone tactics refer to provocations that are below the threshold of what could spark a full-on war. So, for instance, the recent swarming of more than 40 Chinese Navy vessels in the Iroko Reef and Sabina Shoal near Recto Bank, which is within Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. The Foreign Affairs Department issued diplomatic protests, but not much has come of it. There's also the pointing of a military-grade laser at the Philippine Coast Guard in February this year, and Chinese maritime militias reportedly shadowing Philippine vessels. But U.S. Ambassador Carlson insists that the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, is not meant to target any one single country.
The goal of EDCA is to strengthen the U.S.-Philippine alliance, which stands on its own and is not focused on any single threat, country, or issue.
The Foreign Affairs Department has launched a microsite commemorating the 2016 historic win, which includes the position papers submitted to the Hague Tribunal. They named the site Not 1 Inch. Bawal journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
Right, we have just about enough time for our big picture for tonight. And it's none other than Vice President Sara Duterte alongside 100-year-old Teofilo Gamutan, Davao City's oldest war veteran. Gamutan's family threw a birthday party for the former commanding officer of the headquarters company of the 84th Infantry Battalion of the Philippine Army Reserve in Bohol during World War II. Cheers to our Lolo Pio and to our remaining World War veterans, because yes, a lot of them are still around as of April 2022. There are 2,022 of them who are still alive, 236 of whom are over the century mark. Lolo Pio is the oldest of the 4 remaining war veterans in Davao City. Last year, Duterte also visited Gamutan during his 99th birthday and asked him about his secrets to a long life. And according to Lolo Pio, the secret to long life is patience, to let go of anger, and always be happy.
Yun talaga. Be happy.
Hindi, pero di ba may cash prize yan pag umabot ka ng 100?
Oh yeah, that's true. Depending on which city you live in, that's right.
So I'm sure he
That's
got
an amazing achievement.
It is.
101.
But you know, sometimes I think do I really want to stick around for that long?
Well, for as long as we have the reason to live.
No. Be happy, guys, because that's it for the show tonight.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.